All right, and welcome to the show where the games of the past will be present in our future. I'm your host, Nick, and with me I have Greg.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Mike.
I heart 8-bit.
And Dimitri.
Can you repeat that? Your little opening thing?
What? Oh,
Where
the games of the past will be present in our future. That just goes to say that we love
like
our
it.
retro games, right?
I like it. That could be like a future hipster tattoo somewhere.
I think it could. I'll make it a tramp stamp, you know? And today, folks, we are going to be talking about games of our lives. The games in our childhood, our teenage years, and today. And just want to kick it off opening up the show. Let's talk about like our first like actual memory of like either witnessing or playing a game. So I'll go ahead and throw it to you, Mike.
My first memory was definitely the original Nintendo. My grandmother got one for me before I could even play, and I watched my dad play Mario before. Pretty much all I did was run Mario straight into that first pit.
You didn't find out the concept of the jump button yet, huh? Until somebody had to tell you?
It took me maybe another year of life before I could actually figure out the concept.
Your dad should have pulled the little brother trick on you, where you plug in a second controller to make it seem like you're doing something.
I was so young when I got it. You didn't even have to pull that trick on me.
Very nice. And what about you, Greg? What was your first, actual memory of diving into games?
Well, in a way, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But anyway, so I'll get into it. My dad used to play this game, Double Dribble, on the NES, which when that came out, I was like 2 or 3 years old, and it's just this.
Wasn't Double Dribble like the first game to have sound of some kind? I just remember.
Yeah, like at the start, and I think a little announcer thing, but it's just this bad basketball game. But he used to play the shit out of it, and so what he would do is he would get that second controller, he'd feed the cable through the entertainment center and close the door. My dumbass is sitting there. Oh, look at me, I'm going around. Oh, I scored the basket.
Oh yeah,
and
he totally pulled.
2 years later, when I was finally old enough to really understand, like he dropped that one on me. I'm like, you asshole.
Yeah, he totally pulled the little brother trick on you. That's totally the best. And what about you, Dimitri? First memory of diving into games?
Well, my very first memory of being introduced to a video game was we moved. I was born in Greece, then we moved here in 1987, and then around 1988, my cousins who had already lived here at the time got an Atari, or they had an Atari, and I was watching them like play it, and I just remember I didn't even know like what TV was or like I didn't understand that like the concept of like a TV or a movie or anything. So like video games, I was all like the same category, and I didn't even understand what they were doing. I just remember like they were all huddled around the TV thinking it was cool, so I thought it was cool too. So, and I couldn't tell you what game they were playing or what they were doing. It was just like their typical awful Atari-ness just on the screen, and I don't know what was going on, but I thought it was like the coolest thing ever just because they thought it was cool. So yeah, that was like my very first cognitive like recognition of what a video game is versus like, just something else on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those original Atari games are pretty special in their own way.
No, so terrible.
Yeah. And as for me, like maybe the first game I remember like really having my hands on was Mario 2. So much to the point where I may have told this story before, but I was at the final like level, and like I think this was like the first time I ever wanted to stay up late to finish a game, and like my parents insisted I had to go to bed, and I was like, but the final boss, and they just completely shut it off on me, and I was just like, well, it's gonna take me a whole day to get back to that again.
So you're kind of a latecomer. Your first memory is Mario 2?
Well, no, first memory of witnessing a game was watching my mom and my cousin play Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, and I was just the minute I heard that music, I was just entranced, as you could tell right here. Don't worry, guys, I brought my gaming shirt today.
We all have to represent a little bit.
Oh my god, the actual game itself. Damn. I like that. And
Everybody's got a beer shirt, and or a game shirt, and I'm just sitting here with the beer shirt.
that's okay. That's it.
I got U.S. soccer, so.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We got a little.
Disappointed me mightily today.
Got a little bit of a variety going, but that's cool. We all rock the different shirts of life.
Well, this is
You'll want to cut that part out.
well, this is games of our lives, so it all ties back to
Yeah, that circle of life. And speaking of, we're gonna go ahead and dive into the topic. So I want to start with the favorite gaming memories as a child, and I think, man, when you're a child, time just goes by so much slower. And you felt like you had all the time in the world to play these games, and granted, you did when you didn't have a full-time job, and maybe if you were off on summer vacation. So I want to go ahead and start talking about these cherished memories we have. So I will start with you, Greg. What was your favorite childhood memory in gaming?
Gonna go a few, maybe 2 years past my Double Dribble days when I first discovered my love for Mario with Super Mario Brothers, and just playing that more than I've probably played any game until a few down the road that I will mention a little bit later. But I mean, it's probably the first game I can ever remember actually beating and doing it on more than one occasion, just because all I wanted to do was play that game, and to this day I can still play it even mildly intoxicated and play it like a boss.
Speaking of,
Man, you can't beat the classics. And for you, Mike, what was some of your childhood memories of gaming?
Well, I mean, as I said, I got a Nintendo when I was real young, so I've been gaming my entire life. But my most cherished gaming memories come actually from around the period from about 4th grade to middle school. And, me and my best friend, we were huge into games. He's the one who got me into JRPGs. And I used to, stay at his house all the time. And his mom, he lived right across the street from the local video store. And she used to give us $5, and we'd walk across the street. And we'd just browse the aisles and find something to play for the weekend. And that's how I discovered tons of great titles. But one in particular that stands out was the original Suikoden. And we saw that, we were both, as I said, into JRPGs. So we were looking for an RPG to play. And we saw it on the shelf. And initially, I didn't want to rent it. Because if you look at this game, the Western box art is atrocious. There is nothing to show you that this is a Japanese game. In fact, I've played this game multiple times. I don't even know who some of these characters are supposed to be. The back, though, looks Japanesey when you actually look at the gameplay. So I didn't want to rent it. He was very adamant that we give it a try. And he finally, there was nothing else, so we broke down and got it. And I'm glad we did, because we played it all weekend, and it ended up becoming... It's my favorite series, and without it, I wouldn't have played 2, which is my favorite game of all time. So that's my most cherished memory.
True. And do you remember how many hours you synced into it?
We didn't beat the game that weekend, but we probably played that game until a good 1 in the morning, which at that time was pretty late for us. I mean, 1, 2 in the morning. That
sounds incredible. And with that game, and it's available on PSN now too. So
I definitely know you would love it, especially given your appreciation of gaming music. This game has some of the best music. It takes in all different styles from different styles of music from around the world and incorporates them into the world in the game, and it fits. So a deserty country will have kind of more almost like Arabic sounding music. I mean, it's really interesting.
Wait. You say, are you calling me Arabic? What? You said the music sounds good. You think? What are you trying to stereotype me? What are you doing?
And don't take it so personal. It's just good music, man.
You didn't know? We don't want your kind on this video.
That was a stupid joke. Sorry. I didn't
Go
mean
back to your country.
Don't say it, guys. Don't finish that at least.
Yeah.
No, but all good points made. So definitely one for me and definitely others to check out. So that was a great one, Mike. I like that. And Dimitri, what about you? Your favorite gaming memory as a child?
Well, as a child, I think this, especially for the early years, this might turn into a Mario circle jerk of the sorts, because that's usually your first entry into anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Nintendo in Super Mario Brothers, I didn't even know games had an end to, so to speak, because before that, even most arcade games, you just played them forever until you ran out of money for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Mario actually had an ending, even though it kind of restarted afterwards, but there was still like an end screen of the sorts.
Yeah.
To me, that was kind of mind blowing as a kid. Like, wait, hold on a second, you can actually beat this game. There's like a definitive end you can get. There's a last Bowser. So the first time I saw that happen was kind of like an awakening of the sorts of, oh shit, this is crazy, and then it starts all over again and kind of thing. So that'd definitely be one of like the first times that I realized, that
that games can end.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. And for me, I was gonna bring up Sega Channel, but I've harped on that thing so much already that I actually have an interesting gaming memory, and it's gonna make me seem kind of I don't know, kind of lame, but my cherished gaming memory as a kid was, thriving in the Super NES era, all these games, Contra 3, Turtles in Time, a bunch of some good solid like platformers, beat 'em ups and such, and shooters, and the Game Genie dropped. And I was like, whoa, what is this? You see the commercials, it's like, yeah, like this lightning, like this 8-bit, 16-bit, like, genie comes down, powers down into your system, and it's like, unlock all the cheats, And I thought that was like, whoa, yeah, I'm into cheating, why not? I got it, and, like, they gave you this booklet where you entered, like, 16 to 18, like, letters and numbers, and, next thing you know, you have infinite lives. So, like, games that were probably challenging to me, like, in the past was, like, Contra 3, for a good example, like, the amount of lives they give you to try to beat that game, my skill wasn't that high yet. So
nobody's is.
Yeah, it was terribly difficult. Beautiful game, but terribly difficult. So like I beat the game. Like once I got this Game Genie, infinite lives. Yes, we're doing this, and I wrecked that game, of course, and I had the best time playing it. But yeah, like. I guess using the Game Genie for a lot of my games was a cherished memory of mine. But it was so like, because
that was literally the only way you were able to see an ending to a game, especially if it was a game that you liked, but you weren't good enough, or it was just damn near impossible to like beat it. Like a game like Ghouls and Ghosts. Nobody's ever gonna play. Nobody's gonna beat that shit as a kid, but. If you want to see the ending to it, then the Game Genie gave you a little bit of a leg up. It definitely worked for me too. I had a Game Genie for the NES, and it extended that thing's lifespan by a lot.
Yeah, it was an interesting time, before this is in times where you couldn't break the game by trying to implement a cheat like these days. Back then it was almost, it was a little acceptable.
Well, nowadays if you want to see the ending to something, you just go on YouTube and watch a Let's Play video and then see somebody get to the ending of it.
Boo.
Or if you need a leg up, you just buy a DLC pack, so you don't actually have to do any leveling or.
Oh man, these guys have it too easy. I'm gonna go ahead and transition from childhood and let's go into the teens. I think the teens is an interesting time. We had an interesting wave of games coming through. I think we might have seen like maybe one or two generations pass, and I think it's a broad enough selection for us to be able to. Pick something from that particular era of our lives. So I'll start with you, Mike. What was your cherished gaming memory as a teenager?
Well, gaming was probably the time where I did the least amount of gaming. I had other stuff going on.
Oh.
But, I still made time for games, obviously, and I still played some great ones. But despite some of the good solo player experience, my favorite time in teenage years was actually playing with my friends. That's when Halo was out. Killzone was another one I played a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm probably the guy here who maybe hates on first-person shooters the most, but I had tons of fun in, playing Halo. I even remember when Halo 2 came out, I had already graduated from high school, but a lot of my friends were seniors at the time, and one of them took the day off and went to a midnight release, and I went to his house that day, and we just everyone else was still in school text well, they didn't really have texting, but they were like, how's Halo, is it good, and we're like, oh, it's awesome, we've been playing it for 3 hours.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, did you pull all-nighters on some of them? Like maybe even LAN parties of some sort?
I only have done LAN parties a couple times. One of them was actually a birthday party. But,
That's sweet.
I mean, even playing co-op on Halo, I would go to my buddy's house, we'd go in his basement, and we would just, among other things that won't be mentioned, would spend all night just blowing through the Halo single player.
Oh, when you said blowing, thank God you said single the Halo single player afterwards.
Yeah, let's keep in mind that we're dorks here, so.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too good. And you, Greg, what were some of your cherished teen gaming memories?
The first one that came to mind when I was thinking about this was when I picked up Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which Grand Theft Auto is one of my favorite franchises, always has been, and to this day, Vice City is still one of my favorite games that I've ever played. And I remember just the awe of being able to explore a city that I grew up in, but in the game world, but in doing so, be able to listen to some awesome 80s music, run over some pedestrians, maybe throw the cheat in to get the tank and just start blowing people the hell up. But the best part to me was final one of the battles toward the end where you get to relive the pinnacle moment of the movie Scarface, which is one of my favorite movies, and I just got to say hello to my little friend as I shot the shit out of people. And yes, I said it out loud with people in my house.
And if only there could have been a video camera recording that.
That would have been the saddest thing ever.
Dimitri, I want to hear some of your input on teenage gaming memories.
Yeah, so we moved back to, like I said before earlier, we came from Greece, so we ended up moving back, and then we moved back to the United States in 1997. So right around that time, I got a hold of the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't really buy too many games because my parents are still getting set up with work and stuff. But however, whenever we went to the supermarket together, I'd always beg my parents to buy the infamous PlayStation Official magazine.
Yeah.
And there's one that I was very, in particular, excited to buy. It was right there. It's the Metal Gear Solid disc from October 1998, the demo.
What?
And then after that, that kind of sparked my renaissance in gaming, so to speak, because I had been stuck on the Nintendo for so long. So, yeah, so I must have played the demo maybe 15, 20 hours, and that was just the demo, just doing every single thing I could. And then once the game came out, later that year, it was just like all bets are off. I was gone for months on end, just beating it over and over again, beating it in tuxedo mode, beating it in time attack, just doing all the VR missions, and just went crazy with it. So.
I didn't know your love for Metal Gear was that strong back then. That's pretty cool. Well, when you played the demo disc, did you find anything in there that didn't appear in the game, or everything on that demo appeared in the game basically?
I think some of the weapons that you pick up, or some of the rations you pick up within the first section aren't there.
Well, that makes sense.
And I don't think the cutscene is there either. When you're coming up from the elevator, and then you get up and that helicopter shows up with Liquid Snake.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's in the demo or not. So very, very minor things, but at that point it was mind blowing to me that this is possible in the game. So I just played it over and over again.
That's great. And it's funny because I scoffed at Metal Gear the first time I saw it. I was like, what is this shit? I was like, I probably won't even like this. And
well, if you see underneath my box below is where the quote comes from Metal Gear Solid, the first one. Gray Fox.
Yes.
A cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. Whatever that means, buddy, go for it.
Perfect quote and perfect way to say it. Teenage gaming memory of mine. Jeez, this one's really bringing it out. Well, a lot of my gaming memories involves Greg. Me and Greg spent a lot of time together as brothers and as lovers, and we pulled we pulled a lot of all-nighters, the Halo, kind of like what Mike mentioned, the Halos and whatnot. But I think a specific gaming memory that really stuck out at me was this little beaut that I talked about a week or two ago. WrestleMania 2000. When I finally got my copy, I was the only one out of the circle of friends that was big wrestling guys to play it. So this was our ideal Saturday, and it pretty much acted out as is. And so we would create wrestlers. We all would have a boombox in my room, And like, so when back when you couldn't load, quit laughing so hard. When you couldn't load music onto a game, so we would play music when the people came out and stuff. Oh, this is so embarrassing. But it was such cherished memories. And like, one time somebody decided to bring like Dr. Dre The Chronic and like play one of the songs, and it was like blasting it. And then I hear from the other side of the kitchen, "Turn off that damn music!" That was my mom. Like, she did not appreciate that.
Do you remember the name of your custom wrestlers? The Harn Jammer, the Slick Nick?
Oh God, do I have to admit this? It was like Kid Rock, because I idolized The Rock. God!
Wow.
Cringe!
I forgot about that.
The
Holy
cringe is
shit.
hard. Holy
Would you walk into Cowboy?
No, I basically had
man,
all
it's all good. My first creator wrestler's name was Spook, and that was because
Please don't tell me he was what I think he was.
No. Because we went to the flea market in Sunrise, and we picked up a Mad Catz controller so we could play N64, so we could play WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
And the Mad Catz sticker was fake. You peeled it off, and underneath was another company called Spook. And it's like, first of all, you're gonna knock off a Nintendo 64 controller, and on top of that, you're gonna knock off and be Mad Catz, but you're not even you're gonna pretend to be Mad Catz and just be some shitty company called Spook. We thought it was funny, so I just like named the wrestler Spook. He was a ghost, so.
Oh, that seems appropriate. It wasn't too cryptic. But yeah, like, so doing all that, like ordering like pizza, you know, and like we spent like literally from afternoon to nightfall playing the game. We just couldn't get enough of it. So I think that was
infamous pizza crust situations.
Yeah, we'll leave.
bonus segment.
Yeah, we're leaving that for the bonus segment.
Okay.
most appropriate. Transitioning from embarrassing moments of childhood and teenage memories of playing video games, and I can't believe I admitted that all to you guys and to everyone else that will be seeing this, we will talk about the adulthood of playing games. You know, our time is a little bit more limited. The priorities of games have, you know, gone down a couple notches in the totem pole. And it varies throughout days. But, you know, as core gamers, we still like to get our fix, right? So, I want to talk about some of the, you know, early adulthood or, like, even, like, recent memories now of, like, some favorite, like, gaming memories. And I'll start with you, Dimitri, if you have any.
Well, unfortunately, you're gonna start with me, and the sad part is, if we're going like in order from like young, like preteen, teenager to like, I don't know, like with 24, 25 plus, I don't really have an exact answer for you because I'm still kind of, I guess, like, because we're older now, so it's not like games like, you know, wow, it's kind of like you've seen it all in a way. So I think I'll just go with one of the things that kind of really brought me back, and that was Demon Souls for PS3.
PS3? Yep.
Yeah, because I was a big Diablo 2 fan, so Demon Souls kind of reminded me of like the Diablo formula a little bit. So that because for a while, for like 5 or 6 years, I was completely out of games, not playing anything. So Demon Souls kind of brought me back a little bit. So just like that whole interaction, the way that game worked, and you know, invading somebody else's game, and then like the whole social structure that tied back in the game was special in a way, as corny as that sounds. So I'm gonna go with Demon Souls as far as like recent like memory that kind of stuck out for me.
Let the cornball factor roll, man. That's all right. Like, we're okay with that. But it's good to hear that, like, even now that you can have a cherished memory such as that. And I'll kick it off over to you, Greg. I want to hear a favorite memory of gaming for you in this adulthood we're in.
All right, so we're gonna go back about 7 years to the tail end of 2008. So I'd been out of college for about a year, been married for a few months, and a little game called Fallout 3 comes out.
Oh, man.
Now, I didn't think too much about this because I've never been into RPGs. I'm the one among us that just sees no point in turn-based. It just makes no sense to me, but whatever. For some reason, you know, looking at different videos about it, reading stuff about it, I'm like, well, the game world seems kind of interesting. What the hell? I'll give it a shot. And I remember just falling in love with it, realizing that there was a type of RPG for me, action RPGs.
Yeah.
And just playing the shit out of it. I mean, at that point, outside of Mario and Grand Theft Auto, I'd never played a game over 40 hours, which I did with that one.
Yeah.
And they were like long gaming sessions. So I remember one in particular where I stayed up. I started playing probably like 10 at night, and I stayed up till 4 in the morning playing Fallout. And I slaughtered multiple death claws, tons of super mutants, a bunch of ghouls. And finally, I looked at the clock. I'm like, holy fuck, I need to go to sleep. I got to be up in like 3 hours. So I'm like, okay, well, power it down. I go and I get the dog, and I walk out to take her out. Now, my dog, which you guys know, she's a little poodle. She's only 10 pounds, so she's not exactly imposing. Well, I walk outside, and it's really eerie out. My mind starts fucking with me, so I start thinking, oh shit, there's ghouls coming out. I got nothing to protect me. My dog can't do shit. I'm like, Truffles, let's go inside. You can pee in the house. I'm done.
Talk about straight immersion, but I totally get
that. The kind of thing that gets me pumped for Fallout 4 is just maybe having a similar experience.
Yeah, totally. And that will, that maybe more memories are to come. And for you, Mike, a cherished memory right now that you have for this adulthood of gaming.
Before I get into mine, let's just applaud the fact that this man's marriage survived Fallout 3. A round of applause. That's not an easy one. For me, kind of keeping it communal with the theme that's kind of going through mine. Best memory of playing as an adult was right around when I moved to Florida. So I think it was about 2005. I didn't know anybody. It was right around when the new systems were coming out. I hadn't started school yet, so I got a PlayStation 3 and I started playing Warhawk because I saw some videos online and it looked really interesting.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was a fun team game. So I saw that there were clan battles. So I got in touch with a clan, and I picked one on there was a website, gamebattles.com, where they had a ladder for it with teams. And I picked one because it had the Metal Gear Solid, the Foxhound logo. And I thought they were cool. And we played this other team and got our ass kicked by them. They just absolutely destroyed us. So then I contacted the team that beat us, and I ended up joining their squad. And we played.
Benedict Arnold over here.
Oh yeah, I dropped them like it was nobody's business. I got out after one game. I was like, I'm going to the good team. So I played with them for about 2 of the seasons on Game Battles, which was probably a little over a year. And the 1 year we finished in second. We had the best record. We got to the championship game. We lost. We had a huge upset. And then the next year we came back and we won it. But just that time playing with people online, and these are people that I actually ended up forming friendships and relationships with just through an online game that were all different parts of the country that I never actually met before. And a lot of them I still game with to this day. It was probably a big factor in me picking the PS4 over the Xbox One. It's just that more people I game with.
Yeah.
So even though I still play a lot of...
That's a rarity, because I think most people liked or developed more Xbox Live friends and PSN friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just through that game. It was a game that really put an emphasis on teamwork and communication. It was a lot of fun to play. And then, but just, I played a lot of great solo games. I play more solo games now than I do, multiplayer, but that's just one in particular that's always probably going to stand out to me. It's just, a time when I didn't really have any friends in a new area. It was a cool way to be social.
No, I totally get that, and I'll just to wrap it up a little bit, I'm gonna go into mine to transition, and yeah, I totally, the multiplayer bug really hit me in my early adulthood as well. Gears of War was thriving, and I don't think I've synced that many multiplayer hours in any game as I did in that one. Easily 100, if not hundreds. Between of the span of the 3 games, and then when you make the friends with it, it's an unbelievable experience that you can have, and I think that that one is just one that I will always remember. And definitely having a static group, even luckily I had local friends that I had a static group with, and we really rocked it, and I still won't let it go. Soldier Boy, we coming for you. So bring it on. But that is one of my great memories of adulthood gaming. And then if I had to pick something really recent, don't mean to get sappy, but I think it's playing games with my friend Dimitri over here. It's just so funny how it started. We were just it all started with a conversation of, oh, well, like, what games have, like, I can't believe you didn't play that game. What do you mean? Then I'll kick it back. What do you mean? You didn't even play that game? And so we just, we decided to, like, for one of us, it'd be revisiting a game. The other one would just be a total new experience. And then from there, like, we dived into, like, almost everything. First-person shooters, platformers, like, good games to mention, Parasite Eve, A Link to the Past. Like, it was all, like, we even did, like, an RPG or two. We did Final Fantasy IX, little overrated, and and Chrono Trigger. That was our first playthrough.
Yeah, I mean, now we're going through Sonic 3, which I never played.
Yeah, we'll keep those memories rolling. And on that note, folks, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. If you like this video, you can go ahead and comment. Definitely subscribe. We'll be bringing something new to you every week. And check out the links below in the description, gamerslife.guru, and Tencent Gaming on the Facebook. And go ahead and follow Gamers Life Guru and Tencent Gaming on the Twitter. You can follow it on Twitch too. And feel free to follow me, on my Twitter. I have my handle down below. Dimitri has his below. These guys will eventually get on their Twitter as well, I would think, Greg and Mike.
Twitter coming soon.
Yes.
I'll do it for career reasons at some point.
You could. And on that note, folks, I hope you have a good view, and may the Triforce be with you.